Good morning. We are back for another chat, chill, and get ready with me. If you are new here, I do these videos once a month where you guys ask me questions and I answer them while I get ready. And it's just a very chill video. I have questions like book-related questions, writing-related questions, miscellaneous, entertainment, personal questions. I got quite the list here, so I'm not going to ramble on because I had quite a few left over from my last video, then obviously got a bunch from this time. So you can use the comment section of this video to ask any new questions for next month. On top of I always ask on my Instagram story, and I try to remember to post on my community tab. I did forget for this month, but I always post on my Instagram every single month, like without doubt, for this video. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. First up, we have, if you could co-write a book with any author slash authors, who would you pick? That is like really tricky because honestly, like I can't imagine co-writing a book with someone because I just feel like that's such like a personal thing, right? And like I can't imagine just trying to work with like another creative brain at the same time writing a same project. Okay, I'm treating this as if this is like happening and I would have to like make this decision right now, and that's not the case. So just have fun with it, Michaela. I'd want someone who could maybe complement like what things that I lack in. So I don't know, I think I would love to maybe write with like a dark romance author, because as much as I love dark romance, I don't have like any dark romance stories in my head. Like, I don't know, they just like, they don't come to me. So maybe like writing with a dark romance author. So, I mean, obviously like Penelope Douglas would be ultimate dream just because they are my like favorite author. But then maybe also like Anna Huang too, because like I just love her books. And even though we both like do, I guess, like contemporary, just like her writing style, everything is so good. And I love how she writes her heroes. If I'm trying to up my spice factor, then maybe QB, because she's just like the queen of that. I don't know, I guess it would probably end up being like any of my favorite authors. I would just say like it would probably end up being them. Like Penelope Douglas would be like all-time dream, right? Your most unpopular bookish opinion. So I don't know, I don't know if it's like unpopular, but like I don't mind like non-traditional HEAs, even though I know that technically that doesn't count as a romance, but I like them every once in a while. I really like that emotional destruction. I like the realism of it sometimes. I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. I hate cartoon covers. I don't feel like that's it's kind of unpopular. I feel like there's a good amount of people that don't like cartoon covers, but I feel like the vast majority love them because look at how many cartoon covers we have now. And I do not like them. I don't like animated covers like at all. I don't know if I've like ever really found one that I like love. That's not my style. That's not my jam. I love people covers, or even like I like object covers. I just hate cartoon. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. Let's see. And I hate pop culture references in books. Like I understand if you're like, you know, saying that someone's like a fan of a certain sports team. Okay. But if you're making a reference, like I specifically remember, I love the Off-Campus series. Y'all know how much I love the Off-Campus series, but I think it's changed now in the traditionally published version. But like in the deal, it's like mentioned about like some music artist. I want to say it was like Taylor Swift or like One Direction or something. And I don't know. I just feel like when you date things with things that are like in current pop culture, not saying that like, oh, your character loves the Beatles, because it's like, okay, that's like timeless. I don't know. And I'm not trying to say that One Direction and Taylor Swift are not timeless. Don't come at me. But I'm more so just saying I don't like when like pop culture things are referenced, and then I just feel like it dates it years down the line when people pick the books up and read it. Also, why does my moisturizer only ever pill on days that I'm filming videos? Jesus. Is today just already gonna be one of those days? And we're only just getting started. What are the playlist vibes for Take What You Want? So that is my next book that I have coming out. That is Whispering Nothings #3. I am actually going, you know what? I'm gonna use this foundation today because I feel like the other one has not been like doing it for me. So I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. Okay, so I am going to have like a Take What You Want update probably towards the end of this video. I did get like a question kind of talking about like struggling with writing and stuff. So I'm going to talk about that more in depth later on because I don't know how like rambly that might get. So I kind of want to leave that towards the end of the video. But I will answer them like along the way. So playlist vibes for Take What You Want. So I don't have them posted yet, but Jane and Nikolai each have their own playlists, just like I do with the other two Whispering Nothing books. So I would say Jane's playlist is more like, I'd say both of them are more pop-y. Where like, you know, I think Walker was more kind of like traditional rock and roll, you know, a little more like punk rock, that kind of vibe. And Scars was like EDM. And then I think Hayden and Carter were both like a little more alternative, where I think Jane and Nikolai are definitely like more of the pop couple of the two of them. I don't know. A lot of like women on Jane's playlist, like a lot of female artists on her playlist. And then on Nikolai's, again, a little more like pop rock sounding. We got like a few a little more like emotional ones. Same with Jane's, got a few more emotional ones because they are second chance. So I mean, like the song title for this book is Take What You Want, and that's by One OK Rock and 5 Seconds of Summer. So that, I mean, you can go and listen to that. Otherwise, if you want to like some other kind of songs that give Jane and Nikolai vibes that you could go and like listen to, well, I have Sexy Dirty Love by Demi Lovato, Goddess by Corella and Nervo, You Broke Me First by Tate McRae. That's, you know, when Jane's getting in her feels. Those are a few for Jane. Let me scroll down to Nikolai's playlist. Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon, Dead Soon by Autograph, Lils, and Bonsai Mammal and Scorsese. I think it's the Scorsese remix. Wildflower by 5 Seconds of Summer. Wish You the Best by Louis Capaldi. That's again when he's kind of like in his more emo stage. But yeah, I definitely say they are much more the pop couple of the Whisper Me Nothing series, and just kind of more like, even though they are second chance and their book is maybe a little more like emotional than the other two, I definitely say the vibes are like lighter in terms of their playlist, just because those characters are both just, they're kind of just like pop princesses at heart, including Nikolai. This doesn't look like it matches my neck, but I promise it does in person, but it looks like a bad shade match on camera. I promise it works. Okay, so that's playlist vibes, and I will publish those probably like the month leading up to release, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for putting me on the Off Balance series. Binge read that whole series in 8 days. I'm so happy that you loved it. Favorite series of all time. I get so excited whenever someone tells me that they read Off Balance, because I've talked about it like a million times on here, because that is in fact my favorite series. So I'm very happy that there are more people who have found it and loved it. Student teacher book with no other woman drama / other man drama. Also love you and your book so much. Thank you. I just actually posted a student teacher rec video, literally Tuesday. So and also like I try to keep these not for like recs, just because of like I do rec videos otherwise throughout the week or throughout the month. I'm gonna leave that, but like I said, I did just post a student teacher rec video, so I'm sure, and I had a lot in there that don't have an other woman or other man drama. Your thoughts on unconventional HEAs? Well, isn't that perfect? I totally understand, and I will say 99% of the time I want my romances, which to be a romance, it has to have a happily ever after or a happily for now. I want them to have that. However, I do really love a non-traditional HEA, and some of my all-time favorite books do not have a traditional HEA. And I think sometimes it just works. I think it just works for some of them. I think some of them don't need one. I think it makes the story more impactful. And I can think of some books. There's like one book in particular that I'm thinking of that I don't want to say the title of, but because like I don't want to give it away. But if it had a non-traditional HEA, I think I would have loved it like so much more. It's one that I read for a Banned, Forbidden, and Taboo reading vlog, and I think in that I even say that I wish that it didn't end happily. So I mean, if you really wanted to go and look and find it out and kind of like spoil it for yourself, you could. But but again, I don't want to talk about any of those, whatever. Some of my all-time favorite books, I will just say, are unconventional. I like getting my heart ripped out. I like the emotional impact that a character death, or even, I'd say a lot of times in romance, it ends up being character death that ends up keeping them from being happy. And I do think that with a lot of the ones that I've read, it makes sense. Like either the character is sick or it's like this tragedy. And it's just like the idea that these two characters like want to make it work so badly, and like there are circumstances beyond their control that they can't make it work. I love that. But then on the flip side, I also love seeing characters like overcome all odds to be together. So I don't know. I like both. I do understand, like, I don't like it when people label books as a romance when they're like not. So I at least always try to warn, like, if the ending is not a traditional one, I try to always say that, because I know some people don't like that. But here's the thing. I don't like being spoiled on that. I don't want to know if it's non-traditional. I want to like experience the heartbreak and shock like naturally. but I do love them, and I would love to write one day. Okay, next up, I'm new in the book community. Why does no one talk about Willow Winter? I follow a lot of different creators and no one talks about her books. Second, will you read any more from Andy Jackson? Greetings from Switzerland. I love your account. I would love to come to Switzerland. That is like a dream trip, so that is amazing. Hello. Okay, so yes, I would love to read more from Andy Jackson because I loved Hidden Scars so much, and I think I have another one of her books on my TBR. So yes, of course, would love to read more from Andy Jackson. And if anyone has like a favorite to recommend me, then please let me know below. As far as Willow Winters goes, I read one of her books a couple of years back, but I think, there's just like so many authors, so many books out there that, I don't know. I can't say why anyone else like wouldn't. Also, why am I breaking out down there? I think it's just hard because there's so many books out and so many things for people to read. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really like speak for anyone else. Would you recommend getting a Kindle to someone who only reads 1 to 2 books a month but really likes reading and wants to read so many books? If you think getting a Kindle will help you read more, then sure. I mean, I definitely read so much more because of my Kindle because it's easier. I can read in bed at night with like the light turned off. It's easier to read out on the couch. I do have some like hand and wrist pain in my right hand, so like reading on a Kindle is easier for me than like reading a physical book. So yeah, I mean, so if you think it's gonna make you read more books, then yeah, I mean, I love my Kindle. I recommend to everyone in my life to get a Kindle, but only like, I guess, if you think it'll make it worth it for you. Not sure what the process is, but do you plan or hope to be at any signings as an author? I would love to do that one day. Like that is a dream of mine, to go to a signing as an author, but I do not have any plans in like the like at least in the near future. Probably even like, I think I had originally said like I would love to do that in 2025. Honestly, now I don't know, and I think I put on too much of this blush. Anyways, I don't think even 2025 that will happen. Now more so because my 2025 is quickly filling up with like my trips and things, because another one of my friends is getting married, so I have her wedding, I have her bachelorette party, I'm going to New York, I'm going on a cruise in November. Like my like regular life is just kind of like busy right now. And also too, like I've said this before, like I would want to make sure that I have enough of like an audience and enough books out so that way it would like make it worth it. And like that is scary to think about going and like thinking about sitting there alone and like no one wanting to come up to my table. And like I don't feel like I have the readership right now to like stand out at a signing. More so, like it would more so be like people would know me from YouTube rather than just knowing me like from my books. So I would love to do it one day. That is like a dream of mine. That is a goal of mine, but I just need to I think I need to have more books out. I need to like grow a little bit more. And I also need my personal life to calm down a little bit, because obviously like stuff is just expensive. Like if I were having to fly to one, get books for one, inventory, I don't have like a banner, I don't have a logo. Like there would just be a lot of expenses to also go into it that right now I just like, I don't foresee myself, able to do. How many hours do you work a week, all stuff combined, and how not to burn out? So actually I am planning, I think I'm going to start this vlog on Monday. I'm going to do like a spend a week with me vlog, because I have gotten questions about that, and I actually think I got another one later on about that. But here's the thing, because like I do work a regular 9 to 5 job, and then I obviously have YouTube, and then I have writing. So like I don't have, which one's lighter? I don't have like a lot of free time. And I will say I went through a lot of burnout this summer. I think I did burn myself out with starting line. And so I've kind of like taken a little bit of time to regroup, and now I'm just trying to like get myself back on track. But I'd say like average a week. So what, I work 40 hours a week for my regular job. YouTube, let's say between like planning content, filming, editing, I'd say that probably takes at least 2 to 3 hours a week, maybe. That's like what, 43 hours. And then also I say like reading is a part of the job. So even the time that I spend reading is technically, I think, like work, because obviously I need to read books in order to make videos and content. So let's just say that's like another 10 hours a week. So that's 53 hours. Writing's a tricky one to answer right now because I'm just kind of getting back into the thick of drafting. But I'd say, again, on average, I'd say right now I'm spending maybe like anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a week writing, which is way less than what I normally do. But like I said, I'm trying to ease back in. So I guess maybe I work like maybe around like 60 to 65 hours a week, like everything combined. And then when I'm like more into writing and like better about being on a schedule, it's definitely probably closer to like 70 hours a week. I don't know. I guess that sounds like a lot, but like in reality though, writing and reading and doing YouTube is like fun. So even though yes, it is work, and sometimes it feels like work, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it truly just is like, this is fun, this is my hobby, and I love this, whatever. So I will say that then isn't that bad. It's more so than obviously like my regular job. Like I don't mind my job. It's more so just like, that's my job to pay my bills, you know? And sometimes that is like, oh, I don't feel like working today, but obviously you have to, because I want to pay my bills. I got kids to feed. Which do you prefer, Kindle physical or audiobook? Kindle for sure. Audiobooks, I love to do rereads with audiobooks. I do kind of struggle with new books and just processing that because like I get so distracted that my mind wanders too much. So at least when it's a reread, I don't have to worry about like missing things in the story because I already know it. And it's a good way for me to be able to like reread books without feeling like I'm taking away time from like new ones that I'm trying to read. So love that. And then physical, I read probably the least amount physically just because it's just, I don't know, it's just so easy to read on a Kindle. Do you think special editions are becoming oversaturated? I mean, kind of, but also like I love special editions, and I know so many other people love special editions and want to collect them of their favorite books. So like, I don't know if like oversaturated, like, I mean, like, yes, there are so many special editions at this point, and it's honestly like insane to keep track of. Books have like multiple editions of themselves, and it is like expensive, but also at the same time, like no one is making you spend money on them if you don't want to. And then there are people who do want to collect them and like spending money on them. So it's like, then let those people have them, like if they want to. I don't know. I do think though that there are just like, almost every single book, it feels like that like gets the slightest hint of popularity, like does get a special edition. So it can feel like a lot, but at the same time, I think that's a great opportunity for authors. I think it's a great opportunity for book collectors. So I don't know. I don't necessarily see it as a problem, but I do think like, yeah, there is an insane amount of special editions out there. Like it would be hypocritical of me to be like, no, like stop with the special editions, especially because like I have a special edition of one of my books, and like that's crazy to like have gotten that for my first one, you know? And if any book box or someone like approached me and was like, hey, I want to make a special edition of one of your other books, I'm not going to say no because I'm like, oh no, there's too many out there. Like I would be saying yes. So like, I do love that there's a lot. This question I was so excited about because it's just fun to think about. And this is one that I actually did think about. Like normally I try to like not plan any answers ahead and just answer them in the moment. But this one I kind of did because it is, what would your characters from Whisper Me Nothings compete in at the Olympics? And this is just so fun to think about. So starting with Take You Down, Walker, I think he is doing shot put. He's a strong, beefy dude. I think he's doing shot put. I think he's doing that in track and field. Scar, I think she would be like an equestrian, doing like horses, because here's the thing. She doesn't like people enough to be on a team, but I think that she has like a heart for animals, and she would really respect the art and be really nice to her horse and just like the artistry of that. And I just think that will go over better than her trying to do like a team sport. Now, Hayden, for some reason, I was like, I feel like he'd be a good soccer player. Don't know why. I don't like soccer, and like Hayden is kind of my favorite. So like, why would I put him in that? I don't know. For some reason, that's the vibes that he was giving me. I think maybe because he's like tall and kind of skinny, like I think he'd be fast with running, and like I think he'd like kind of the team aspect of it. I don't know. For some reason, I just thought he would maybe be into soccer. Carter, I think would like archery. I think like the accuracy, obviously like I don't think these correlate at all, but I think because she's like a photographer, for some reason, I just think that like then she would be good with archery and like, I don't know, accuracy, I guess. Now Jane and Nikolai, surfing was his. It's not like he lives by the beach, but I just feel like he has that kind of like laid back energy. He'd want something where he could like look hot doing it, so he'd like having like his hair kind of like wet and like flipping it back and being like tanned on the beach. Like he just gives me kind of like surfer energy with that, so I think he would do that. Jane is not touching the Olympics. She's not a sporty person whatsoever. And if anything, she's just doing commentary. Like, that is her thing. She's interviewing the athletes afterwards. Like, she is not competing whatsoever. Reed's heroine, I can't say anything about, but Reed himself, 100%, I think boxing, because he does like box in his free time. So I think he would like that, because again, he doesn't want a team sport. He likes individual sports. It's a good way for him to get like some of his aggression out in like a controlled environment. But I also feel like basketball, and I think the only reason I'm thinking basketball is one, like, because I played that sport, so I think like I at least kind of know the ins and outs of that a little bit more. And also I think just because he's tall, so I think maybe basketball. Why is this brow so much darker? Is it actually darker? Why does it look darker? It doesn't look darker in person. I hate this. Today is just not work. Today is not my day already, okay? Is the Off Balance series at all like the TV show Make It or Break It? I have never seen that TV show, so I cannot say. So if anyone has seen it and in the comments and has read Off Balance, please let me know. Favorite book of this year so far, 100% God of Wrath by Rena Kent. The entire Legacy of God series has been my favorite, but specifically out of that, God of Wrath, it is book 3. It's Jeremy and Cecily's book. It's a dark mafia romance. Why does this brow look so it looks like an Angry Bird eyebrow, but it doesn't in person. Okay, is there something off with my camera and with the lighting? Jesus, they look really intense today, and I promise, unless I have eyebrow blindness this morning, that it doesn't look like that in person. But there's nothing really that I can do about it. God of Wrath, it's a new adult mafia romance. Absolutely love it. Love that entire Legacy of God series. But God of Wrath is 100% my favorite book of this year. And it's going to be my favorite. I don't see myself reading another book that I love more than it. Story you want to write about. Actually, I think I want this. I think I want something warmer toned today. So I think actually I'm going to do this destroyed Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop today for the most part. A story that I want to write about. I feel like I can't really like say anything because I don't want to like give anything away. So obviously, I mean, I want to write Reed's story. I haven't started that one yet, but I want to write that one, and that'll be a rock story. But even that, I'm not saying anything about the tropes. So I want to write that. I want to write another sports romance. So I will say that. There are some more like forbidden romance. Oh, actually, you know what I will say? I want to write a student teacher book. I don't have a story for that right now, but I want to write a student teacher book one day because that is my favorite trope. And I would love nothing more than to kind of like how they say, like, write the book you want to read. I would love to write a student teacher romance that I would want to read and be excited about reading. But I don't have that story yet, but as soon as I do, that is one story I would love to write. You'd be willing to do a Magnolia Parks Into the Dark reading vlog? Honestly, I don't know. I've talked about this before. I don't love doing reading vlogs with specific books because I don't like being on a timeline of like when I need to read them and when I need to have them done by. And also I just feel like, would it really even like, would a lot of people even like that one? Because it's the 5th book in a series, the 3rd book in a trilogy with Magnolia and BJ. That I just like, I don't know. And I personally don't enjoy really doing reading vlogs that much. Like, that is just really not my favorite type of video to make, which is why I rarely do them. So honestly, I don't know. I mean, maybe if like enough of you guys were like, yes, you need to do it, but I don't love doing reading vlogs, but I am really excited to read that book. Would you do another what I read in a week vlog? Which, yes. So yeah, I think if I do like a spend a week with me vlog, I would obviously be talking about what I read in a week. So yes. And I think that's going to be coming soon because I think that would be kind of fun. I think a lot of people are curious, like how I balance, you know, writing and working and YouTube and all that stuff. So yes. My smaller brush. Where am I at? Have you watched The Perfect Couple? Wishing you still had your podcast to get your review. I wish so too. There's just not enough hours in the day, quite frankly. But no, I have not watched it yet, but it is on my watch list. It looks really good. So yeah, I for sure do want to watch it, but I haven't been watching a lot of like shows lately. Or like scripted shows. I'm more just watching all of my like reality ones that are back on TV. When is the cover reveal going to be for Take What You Want? I'm gonna actually save that and talk about that at the end. I will say I don't know. I actually have the cover. I'm waiting on, I still need to finish the blurb for it. And there's one minor thing one thing to change on the front of it, but I've seen it. It's being worked on. I love it. And I'm really excited for you guys to see it. Have you ever been to New York City? Would recommend the Ripped Bodice bookstore? So I have, but I have not been to New York City in years. However, I am actually going in February. I am going to a Rangers game, which I am so excited for, at Madison Square Garden. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for that. So I'm going specifically to go see the Rangers, but then, yes, I'm going to be spending a couple extra days there, with some of my friends. So yes, I would love to check out the Ripped Bodice when I'm there. So I'm definitely going to look into that because I've like seen that store. And I think that would be so fun to go to because we don't have anything like that where I live. Have you been watching any new shows? And then I also got Are You Watching Tell Me Lies on Hulu? So I watched like the first episode of Tell Me Lies. I loved it. I want to keep going with it. I just, again, have not really like had the time to sit down and watch it. But yes, want to keep going with that. And then, what was the other one? Have you been watching any new shows? Well, so like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is back. Real Housewives of Orange County is on again. I've been watching the new season of Below Deck Med, even though the finale of that one like just happened. So it's all like my reality TV shows. Survivor is now back, so I've been watching that. Preseason for hockey is back, so I've been watching the Rangers games, obviously, when I can stream them. Any other new shows? No, I think that's kind of it in terms of, Dancing with the Stars. I watched that. So like, it's pretty much all my reality shows that have returned. And then as far as Tell Me Lies, I really want to go back and get back into that. What's your fashion style like? Would love to see some of your outfits. I don't have good fashion. I'm actually going shopping this weekend because I need more clothes because I'm going back into the office for work now. So I need new jeans, which also too part of this. And like, I have not really talked about this a lot. I have gotten like some comments or like some people have DM'd me about it. And like, I'm just careful about not talking about like weight and stuff because I don't want to like, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable to talk about because like I've never really been comfortable with my own body, and then I don't want to make anyone else uncomfortable. But like for the first time with my own style now, like I'm trying to figure out what my style is because I have like lost weight this year, and normally I love like oversized things and like I still do, but now when I'm like wearing them, I feel like too oversized. And now, but then like when I wear something that's actually like tight to my body, then I'm like, I still don't like that. So I don't really know how to like dress right now. I don't know. I love like, I guess like in general, like with my style, I like jeans, I like jackets. I like t-shirts. I don't know. I don't really like wear anything too crazy. And like, I don't really know what my style is, quite frankly. I mean, a lot of what you guys see on top is like what I wear. And then when I'm filming, like I'm literally in shorts, like just plain shorts, because I don't need to be in anything because you can't see that part when I'm filming. But I'd say my style is like pretty simple. But I don't really know, I guess, right now, like what my style is because I don't really feel comfortable in what my old style was, but I also don't really feel comfortable like wearing more like form-fitting clothes. So I just like, I don't really know. That's kind of a bit of a struggle right now for me, and just figuring out like what I like, what I feel comfortable in. I don't have a good sense of style. If I was richer, I would totally hire a personal stylist. And another question of, would you ever do a day in my life vlog or what I eat in a day? So yes, I don't think I would do like what I eat in a day, mostly because I eat very unhealthily. I do not eat healthy at all. But I eat in a calorie deficit. So like, but I don't want like, I don't know. I will not probably do like what I eat in a day. I'll maybe like talk about it in that vlog of like a week in my life vlog, but I don't think I'd ever do like a dedicated one just to like what I eat. Thoughts on Teen Wolf? I have no thoughts. I've never seen that. But I think that's Dylan O'Brien. Like Dylan O'Brien was in that show. And I will say seeing him in The Maze Runner, changed me when I was, when I was a teenager and saw him in that movie. That did something for me. Thank you, Dylan. Have you read The Life of Anne? I'm assuming, is this The Life of Anna? I think that's by like Marissa Honeycutt, isn't it? So I read the first book in that years ago. And I don't think I'll ever finish it. It's one of the darkest books that I've ever read. And at the time, like I don't know. I don't think I'd ever like finish it, but I do remember obviously reading the first book and it was quite the experience. Maybe now at this point, actually, I'd like it more because like not my tolerance, but like at the time when I read it, I remember being like, this is so dark. Where now, like I've probably read a lot more darker, messed up things that maybe it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't faze me as much as that did at the time. Okay, I got, do you ever struggle when you write? If so, how do you push through it? I'm gonna save that because again, I think I'm gonna talk about that at the end with Take What You Want. So let's actually copy and paste this and move this question down here. Top 4 fave authors of all time. Penelope Douglas, Sarah J. Maas. Because then it's like those two solidified. But then I love so many others, but maybe Anna Huang and QB. But then Lucia. Lucia Franco. But then I also love Kristen Becca Ritchie. It's a really hard question. I'd say top 2 that are never moving are going to be Sarah J. Maas and Penelope Douglas. Most lighthearted romances you've liked. I could maybe, you know what, I'm going to say that I might do that in like an actual like rec video, because again, I don't really want to like turn these into like rec videos. So I'm actually going to keep that question because I kind of like that, because I don't really read a lot of lighthearted ones, but that would maybe be a good like rec video. So actually, I'm going to save that one. Thank you. I think that was Erin that put that one in there. Thank you. What's Dorian and Aria's adoption story? I love seeing their appearances in your video. Thank you. They are my babies. Aria is currently sleeping on the bed next to me over here. So I adopted them when they were 8 weeks old. From a rescue in my state. So I had found out about this rescue because one of my dad's coworkers had adopted her cats from it, and it was like coming up on kitten season, and they were like really obviously overwhelmed. Like all of their fosters were really overwhelmed with all their cats. And so they were posting like new litters as they were healthy enough to be able to go to homes. And I got on their website. I was like stalking their website, waiting for new ones to go up. And the day that Dorian and Aria's litter went up, I instantly emailed. I was literally like refreshing all day, and I saw them. I fell in love. And I emailed the rescue and I was like, hey, I'm interested. But actually at the time, which Aria knows this, so like I'm not saying anything that she doesn't already know, but I originally wanted 2 boy cats because I grew up with boy cats. I just kind of liked the idea of having brothers. So I was like, I'm going to adopt 2 boys. And Dorian and Aria, they are biological siblings. They're from the same litter. So it was 2 girls and 2 boys. And I originally messaged and I was like, I would love, it was Dorian's original name was Archie, and I can't remember what his brother's name was, but he was like an identical brother to him except a short-haired version of him. And then it was Aria, who was Isla originally, and then another girl who was identical to her but a short-haired version of her. So I originally asked if like the 2 boys would be available, but I was like, but if not, then I would love Isla, because I thought Aria was cuter than her sister. And then one of the boys. And then they came back with that we can give you, like, you can have the boys, but I will say, like, the Dorian and Aria are like a bonded pair, and then their brother and sister were kind of a bonded pair. So they're like, if possible, we'd like to adopt them out together. And I'm like, I would never break up a family. So I then chose Dorian and Aria as my little pair because Aria was cuter than her sister. And yeah, and they came home with me. I've had them since, like I said, they were 8 weeks old. They are truly my everything. I love them with my entire heart and soul. I've always loved animals, specifically cats. I grew up with cats. I cry at cat videos. Like I truly, like, I've never had the desire to have like biological children. Like I've never felt that like maternal pull towards like human children. I've never been like that. I've always just truly had a heart for animals, and I can't wait until I can own my own house one day and be able to have more cats, because I do have a 2 pet limit at my apartment, and I would love to just be able to open my home to as many cats as I can throughout my life and just give them like the best lives that they can possibly have. I would do anything for Dorian and Aria. Like, they are my best little buddies. Would you do a themed reading vlog for October or maybe Christmas? Again, I don't love doing reading vlogs. I did do a reading unhinged Christmas novella vlog. I don't think that was I think it was 2 years ago. So you can dig back on my channel if you want that. I truly found the most unhinged Christmas novellas I've ever read in my entire life. So I don't think I'd probably do one for like October or Halloween, just because, again, I just got out of a slump. So now I just want to mood read. And once again, I just don't really love doing vlogs. So probably not. But like I said, if you dig back on my channel, I do have a Christmas one already on there. Recently saw your Goodreads TBR unhaul. Would you consider doing an updated one? Yes, actually, I would love to do that. I've been meaning to get around to doing that. It's more so just such a pain in the ass to edit because you have like the 2 clips that you're editing at the same time. So it's more so just a time consuming video, and also actually going through it. Like, it's just it's a long video to make, but I do really need to do that, and I loved doing that in the first place. What's your favorite snack lately? I don't really know if I have like a favorite snack. Do I even, like, I don't have a snack between breakfast and lunch, and then like I have just like random granola bars or like fruit snacks. Like I said, I am not like a healthy eater by any means. So again, it's like nothing like oh, I have like carrots and hummus or anything like that. Like, no, I'm literally having like a processed chocolate chip granola bar. Or I love Nutri-Grains, but I get the off-brand version. I love like the blueberry ones. Those are like my favorite. Or I love, especially this time of year, Honeycrisp apples. Those are my absolute favorite apples, like the only apples that I eat. So I have that. That's probably like my favorite snack right now. They're just so expensive. Like, to get the good ones from like the orchard, they're like $1.50 a piece, which is like, that's just expensive, but they're so good. But I guess with this time of year, like I am one of those people that just loves anything pumpkin flavored. So definitely anything like fall themed snacks I love. Any new special editions you're excited about? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think I have any that I've like ordered that I'm waiting on. I don't think so. I don't think there are any right now that I'm like really excited about or that I've seen. Like I wanted Rena Kent's Legacy of God series so badly, but I just could not bring myself to spend $500 on that set. Like, I have limits, and that was one of my limits. I don't know, like I haven't really seen anything otherwise lately that I'm like, oh my God, I need to have it. Okay, and now, so that is the end of the regular questions. So now I'm going to talk about the, do you ever struggle when you write? And if so, how do you push through it? And just kind of take what you want. Updates, especially now that we're deeper in the video. So if you don't care about like writing at all, you can, I'll see you later. But if you do and you want to like hear, I'm going to kind of like get into things. So the first part of that question, do you ever struggle with writing? Yes. And how do I push through it? We're going to talk about that. So I Take What You Want vlog is going to be a roller coaster of a vlog. And I will just say up front here, right now. So I have previously announced that the release date of Take What You Want was going to be November 18th. That is not happening. I don't know. I haven't made like a formal announcement yet on like my Instagram or anywhere posting that, mostly because I want to have a better idea of when it is going to be released. So that way when I make that announcement, I can say like how long I think it'll be. My goal is to still have this book out this year. Is that going to happen? I really hope so, but also I just need to not put a lot of pressure on myself right now. Because here's the thing, if you watched my starting line writing vlog, you maybe saw I loved that book. I felt so confident about that book. The early feedback that I got from like my alpha beta readers, like I was just feeling so good about it. And then the later process of it stripped me of all confidence. I lost pretty much all confidence in my writing and thought like, did I somehow get worse between Take My Hand and starting line? And just, I just was so kind of like beaten down on myself. And I couldn't get it out of my head. Like just hearing, I couldn't get out of my head. I couldn't write anything without hating it, without second guessing it, without questioning it. Or I'm talking about Take What You Want then. Like I couldn't write that because obviously I was drafting that at the same time that I was editing starting line. So just like all of my kind of self-doubt bled over into Take What You Want until I basically had to stop because I truly thought then like starting line was maybe going to be my last book. Like after I finished that one, got that one out, and then was back into trying to write Take What You Want, I was just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, just because I truly had no confidence left in myself and in my ability to write and to tell a story and to convey anything that I like wanted to. I spent basically all of July so I basically had a breakdown with starting line. So like that was June and July, because that was like that timeline of that process. And then that carried over then into drafting into July and August for Take What You Want. And I didn't think I was gonna finish this book. I pushed back my deadline on it. And I stepped away from it. I didn't write pretty much at all in August. Anytime I sat down to write, I would end up deleting it because I hated it. I hated myself. I was done, but I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be done. I still had these stories in my head. I have like half of Jane and Nikolai's book done. And I don't want to leave it unfinished, but it's just so hard to get out of your own way when all you can hear is like negativity when you sit down to write. And like you can't have that when you're drafting, but I couldn't get out of my own way. And so what I had to do was I stepped away. Like I said, barely wrote for August. And now in September, I'm back in it and I'm feeling better. Like I needed that time away from it. I needed time to miss it. I wrote and released 3 books in under a year. Or well, like I did over a year to write all 3, but like I released 3 books within a year. Like that's a lot. And I'm doing it all on my own, you know, like I don't have someone helping with like marketing. I don't have someone doing my formatting and like all of that I'm doing myself. And it's overwhelming to be an indie author and the amount of things that you like need to do. And like the only things that I like contract out are editing and cover designing. Everything else is like up to me to do, and it's just a lot. And I got burned out, and like I said, with Starting Line, I just kind of all of my confidence was just kind of like gone. That heavily affected Take What You Want and my progress on that, and stalled it. But I will say taking the time off was necessary. And so I started to get that like itch again, not like expelling that creative energy was not good. Like I started to like feel that need to like get it out again. And so I just slowly but surely started like, I like revisited that book. I like reworked the outline a little bit, and now I'm like finally back in it and I'm enjoying it again. There's still a lot of, I think, fear around, for me, like around the next steps in the process once the draft is done, and just wondering like if I'm going to basically like hate everything again, hate myself, hate my abilities. But at the same time, like it needs to get done. Like this book needs to get done. I need to just like be on to the next one. So yeah, Take What You Want is not going to be out like in November like I originally anticipated, but like I said, I'm really, really hoping that I can still get this book out this year. At this point, like I don't think I'll probably do arcs or anything with it. I think I will probably just do like a drop, like, hey, here it is, just so that way I can get it out sooner. Where like, you know, when you want to do arcs, you have to like allow a few weeks to do signups, but then you also have to like give people time to actually read it and everything. So I don't think I'm gonna do arcs this time with it. And also it's the 3rd book in a series, and like I'm not gonna like advertise it as a standalone. So the people who want to read it will read it when it's out. But yeah, I'm hoping, I want to get it out to you guys as soon as possible. I'm enjoying being back in it. I love these characters. This was the book, which I think is the most frustrating thing to me, is before I kind of had this breakdown in the process of Starting Line, I was having the most fun writing this book that I've ever had writing a book. Jane and Nikolai have been the story that I knew from the beginning. I'm like, this is going to be the most fun, but also like one of the most like emotionally charged one, because it is Second Chance. And I was so excited. I was having so much fun with Second Chance. I was having so much fun being back with rock stars. I was loving it. And then that all just kind of got stripped away. I'm just learning to enjoy it again. And I'm really excited about this book. I'm excited to have it out to you guys. I don't have a release date for you. But in terms of like pushing through, like if you're also struggling with writing, I don't know if I have an answer for that. Like I said, for me, I had to step away. I had to step away. I had to acknowledge to myself that I'm like, maybe this is not it for me. Maybe you're not supposed to do this. Just because you can write, maybe that doesn't mean that you should write. And I kind of had to sit with that. I don't know, acknowledge that might be a very real fact. But at the end of the day, at least with Whisper Me Nothings, I know I need to finish all 4 of these stories. Like, these characters have lived with me for so long. I love writing. I want to finish them. And like that's kind of like motivating me to keep pushing through, and especially because I'm like, there's so many things in this book that I'm excited for. There's so many things in Reed's book that I'm excited for, and Walker and Scar's novella, like I want to write more with them. So it's like I just need to kind of keep my eye on that. It's been quite the journey with this book. You'll see it in that vlog. It's definitely a roller coaster, because you'll see me at the beginning of the vlog being like, oh my god, I'm loving this is so much fun, and then you'll see me being like, I fucking hate myself and I should just like go in a hole. So that'll be really fun for you guys to see. Yeah, I don't think I have like concrete advice of how to push through, except you just have to go back to it. It doesn't matter how many times you quit it, just as long as you keep going back. I guess that's what I'm doing. I quit for basically a month, but I'm back in it now, and I'm just ready to get it done. So anyways, okay. That is it for this chat, chill, and get ready with me. Next week will be TBR on Tuesday, wrap up on Friday. don't know after that. Oh, like I said, I think I am going to do like a spend a week with me vlog. And yeah, if you have any questions for next month's Chat, Chill, and Get Ready with Me, you can leave them in the comment section below here. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Sorry to end it on kind of a serious note, but yeah, it's been a long time coming for me to like actually give an update on Take What You Want, but it's coming. It'll be here. But, you know, I needed some time. So anyways, that is it for today's video, and I will see you when I see ya.